And now we are at our final conference presentation of the day, lucky number 12. And that is casting a wide net, utilizing Python as a tool in data remediation, presented by Jennifer Scholl from Florida International University. Jennifer Scholl is a professional currently working as a library specialist at Florida International University. She spent her COVID-era free time upskilling in the data space, acquiring her Google Analytics certification, then venturing into the powerful world of Python. Her professional goals surround anything that includes data, a keyboard, a tower, and a problem to be solved. She is passionate about learning systems, the data capabilities within that system, then finding impactful information to share stemming from the data. She holds a bachelor's degree in computer information systems with a focus on database management from DeVry University. When she's not spending time with family, developing on the computer, interacting with nature, creating delicious Middle Eastern food, or working on projects, she favors the Oculus Quest game, Beat Saber, and true crime documentaries. All right, I'm going to stop my share. We're excited to have you with us, Jennifer. And whenever you're ready, feel free to get started.
Hello, thank you for taking time out of your day to attend my presentation, Casting a Wide Net, Utilizing Python as a Tool in Data Remediation. In my presentation today, I will discuss FIU's previous integrated library system. This includes a shared bibliographic database that had certain institutional requirements that initiated this cleanup project after our recent migration to our new ILS system. Part of our new ILS includes Alma, which replaced Aleph. This is the cataloger's interface to work within the database, and Primo VE, which replaced Mango, the online public-facing catalog. I will also show some examples of why the remediation project is necessary. I will be discussing my personal experiences with the data needing remediation and my Python scripts that were contributed to the project, which enables a task that could possibly take months or years to be done within the hour. Anyone attending today who was cataloged in the Aleph application probably recognizes this shortcut icon. All 12 state of Florida public universities shared this bibliographic database, with each university having their own code. These codes were transcribed within the subfield 5 tag of a given field. The state of Florida has over 12 million bibliographic records containing this combination of subfield 5 institutional code, which I'll refer to as combo from here on out. This is an example of a field containing many of those combos. Having this combo in a given field affected what was seen to an institution's patron within the online catalog. This combo also functioned in protecting fields within an updated OCLC record, was imported into the database, as well as creating automatic electronic portfolios for 856 fields on a physical resources bib record during the migration. Here is a title displaying within FIU's online catalog. You can see there is a notes description stemming from the 504 field in the source record. This is displaying to the public. You'll also notice there is another 5XX field that is not displaying. This is due to Primo VE configurations. If the 500 field was configured to show there, would be an additional note that would look something like this. Not too awful, but the FIU doesn't make much sense. And if all 12 universities attach their combo to that particular field, it would become confusing. Here's a great example of why the project was created. This title includes a note field, but you can see there is nothing being displayed to the public. The first two sentences of this 500 field are relevant to anyone holding this title, but the third sentence is local information for FIU only. Other institutions would not want to have our specific edition information displayed to their patrons. Here's what the source record should look like. The remediation required is the general information that applies to any institution with the title stays within the 500 field. But then a local extension should be created by the institution within Alma, and this is done by using the subfield 9 local tag. In July of 2022, I was contacted by a colleague who asked if I could help with processing large amounts of data. Coincidentally, I had recently purchased an online course through Udemy to learn Python, which ultimately enabled me to create the evolving scripts. Just a fun fact, the computer language Python was not named after the snake, but the comedy series Monty Python's Flying Circus. Once I started working with the data, the initial process started within Alma. A data set was created, then filtered by a normalization rule that checked to see if any fields within a given bib record included any combos. If there wasn't any fields with the combo, the bib record was extracted from the data set. The filtering process, depending on the size of the data set, took quite a long time. The file was then exported as a binary mark file. Next, markedit was used to convert the file to a text-based mark file. I then opened the mark file within OpenRefine. As you can see, the file's metadata is contained within one cell. This was unuseful. Also, every field with or without the combo is visible. Grell and column functions were used to manipulate the file to be ready for analysis. This included adding columns, locating rows without the combo and deleting them, having record IDs repeat for each row that corresponded to that record, parsing out the field number, field contents, and combos. It was quite a few steps. And that was dependent on whether the file was small enough to load. My experience as a cataloger, I would guess an average mark record has somewhere between 25 and 35 fields. With a large data set of 100,000 or more titles, well, you can see where I'm going with this. My PC tower would sometimes sound as though it was about to blast off. Owen Stevens, who teaches OpenRefine, commented within an OpenRefine Google group saying hundreds of thousands of rows are probably okay, but millions aren't going to work so well or at all. Once the file was manipulated and ready for analysis, it was exported in order to share the results. This was required as OpenRefine is locally ran. I also ran into storage limits within Excel. According to Microsoft specs, Excel has a row limit of a little over 1 million. Eventually, I offered to create some Python scripts to the State of Florida Shared Bib Merge Task Force. I used PyCharm Community Edition from the Python course I had started. It was mandatory that I understood the input data and what was requested for the output. As I was developing the program and running it, the output was very helpful. At one point, I found out that if the 22nd character of the leader field was not a 0, the entire bib record was corrupted, therefore creating a false output file. Visualizing the output also helped me understand discrepancies within the logic of the program. A lot of time was invested in testing and debugging. I was also able to use existing documents to create automated detection of general, local, and mixed notes. This detection will enable each institution to remediate their local metadata. Because of the possibility of very large data sets, I added some functionality within the program to limit the output, therefore allowing the files to be opened within Excel or OpenRefine once the CSV file was created from running the program. All that's needed to run the program is Python installed onto the computer and a mark file. The Python script will need to be double-clicked to open. The first question relates to the location of the mark file. This is followed by whether the fields containing general notes, which is automated from the existing documents, are to be included in the output CSV file. A user is then asked if they would like to add any general or local notes on top of the extensive hard-coded list, and finally, if any fields should be excluded. Once the program has run, a CSV file is created with the requested output as well as a report. The scripts are available for download at this address. And just for fun, if you already have Python on your computer, if you open up the interpreter and simply type import this, you'll be able to read a poem about the Python programming language by Tim Peters. He is a major contributor to the Python community. To summarize, the Python program used to find the 12 state of Florida's public universities' local information within our new ILS system requires starting within Alma, creating the data set, then exporting the file. Because of the power of Python, the filtering step is no longer necessary. Next, the binary mark file needs to be converted to the text-based mark file. The OpenRefine manipulation and exportation of the output is no longer necessary. Simply double-click the Python file and answer a few questions is all that's necessary if you choose to use the last file on the web page, which I strongly recommend. Using the last script will automate a majority of the general, local, and mixed local notes within a few minutes. At one point, it was running in just 3 minutes for a file containing over 24 million rows of metadata. But after demonstrating the program to the team through Zoom, it now takes about 20 minutes, but still saves months, if not years of time. Here is an example of the report generated. The first one showing the 3-minute runtime and the second showing almost 20. If anyone can help me understand what happened, please email me. My assumption is that the Zoom app and the Python running at the same time had something to do with it. And here is the CSV file that's created when the program is run. This is from the last script on the web page, and it's displayed in OpenRefine. This is such a great tool to use with all the different facet options available to complete your analysis. Thank you again for attending my very first conference presentation. I will do my very best to answer any questions you may have.
Well, thank you so much for that presentation, Jennifer. That was a fantastic first presentation, so you're off to a great start. Let me check the Q&A for any questions, and if anyone does have any questions, feel free to ask them in the Q&A. I do see one question. Oh, I think that was addressed to the last presentation, so I'll put that aside. Does anyone have any questions for Jennifer? I'm seeing a lot of inspired to go learn Python now in the chat, which is great. Okay, we do have a question that just popped up. Which Python course in Udemy did you use?
I think it's called 100 Days of Python.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, there's so much out there, and it's hard to pick what course you're gonna take and what might be applicable. So it's good that people are sharing a lot of things, and for everything that has been shared in the chat, we'll definitely try and collate some of those resources and share them out. We have another question. When migrating, did you receive support from Alma/Primo to help you with this problem as well? Did they just advise you to learn Python?
No, this was a project that was created within the 12 Florida state universities. I don't know if there was any further talks with Ex Libris. I don't know that.
All right, thank you. If anyone else has any other, oh, I do see another question that just popped in. Did you have any other programming experience before Python?
I did do my undergraduate at DeVry. So I did have some programming knowledge, yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm seeing more resources being dropped in the chat. Looks like the 100 Days of Code is on sale for only $18 right now. That's great. A lot of great resources being dropped there. Another question, having learned Python outside of work and then applying the knowledge to your regular work, have you seen a lot of potential in the breadth challenges Python could be used to resolve?
Absolutely. I've played around a little bit in the analytics within Alma. I could see having information from those type of results. You could create a script there. You could create a script you could basically alter these scripts on this website to do further things, clearing up series fields, because it used to be 440, now it's 490. There may be duplicates there. It could clear up some of the subject headings or added entries. I've seen places where they could discover duplication of fields. Yes, I see a lot of potential with Python. It's also a good language to create games, which I don't know if that could somehow be incorporated into the libraries. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, gamification for instruction. Wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Another question, is there any benefit to doing this cleaning after the migration instead of before? My library is about to migrate to Alma, this person.
I don't know if you're coming from a shared bib environment. One thing is the subfield 5 with the institutional code was a major player when there was an 856 online resource on a physical bib. So if you had a physical book, but there was also an online resource, that subfield 5 institutional code automatically created the electronic portfolio when the migration happened. And yes, I don't know what system you're coming from, but if you could clean it up beforehand, that would be excellent. I'd be happy to help in any way. My email is here. It's also on the website where the Python scripts are located.
Great. Looks like this person is coming from Olive too, mentioned in the chat. So that's good. Some of the chat right now is talking about maybe getting your people's institutions to reimburse them in any way. Some institutions get deals for some of these courses or programs that might help pay. For any SUNYLA members or potential members, there's a professional development grant. So some options out there. We have another question. Are you or anyone here, and if anyone here is familiar with this, they can mention in the chat, with using tools like CELIS or CELIS 1 or WT Cox Analytics for collecting and analyzing usage statistics.
I'm personally not familiar.
All right, I'm not familiar either, but perhaps someone in the chat is. So if anyone is, feel free to chime in there. Oh, someone already did chime in the chat. Thank you. Yeah, and just a comment, the 856 cleanup was a big issue. Do we have any other questions before we start wrapping up? We do have time, so if you have any, don't hesitate. So we'll give it a minute. Okay, I'm not seeing anything more come in. So I'd just like to thank you one more time, Jennifer, for that really great presentation. And thank you everyone in the chat who's been chiming in so far. And yeah, we'll start wrapping up if you'll stop. Yeah, now I'll share my screen. Great. Okay. Sorry, I'm commenting what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Okay, so thank you one more time to all of today's presenters. Everything was just really fantastic. There's so much to take in. So we will be sharing all of these sessions. They've all been recorded. We'll be sharing the slide decks. So just keep an eye on your email inbox. Whatever email you registered with, you will be getting an email updating you, letting you know when all the recordings and slides are available to be viewed online. We'll also try to collate some of those resources in the chat. We really enjoyed putting this conference together today. And if it weren't for all of the really great proposals we received, just so many, almost too many, which is a wonderful problem to have, we wouldn't have today's program. So thank you to everyone who submitted a proposal and everyone who presented, sharing your expertise and experience with us. I'd also like to thank our conference team one more time. Give a shout out to Jennifer DeVito from Stony Brook University, Bill Jones from SUNY Geneseo, our tech wizard, Carrie Martin from SUNY Purchase, Jessica McGivney from SUNY Farmingdale, and Jennifer Jeffrey from SUNY Potsdam. And I'm Jill Ocasio from SUNY Optometry, the chair of the committee. And it's always a real pleasure working with these people. Everyone works really hard to put this conference on, and we're all pretty passionate about having a free conference where people can share what they're doing, and collaboration with colleagues is always a good thing in the library world. So just thank you to everyone who attended and presented. We are SUNYLA, the State University of New York Library Association, who put this on, and we also have a SUNYLA annual conference that is in person every June. This summer it is June 14th through the 16th, and it's hosted by SUNY Maritime College in the Bronx, which is a really interesting college. So if you're able to attend this conference, I suggest it. We got boats there. How fascinating. So we're still accepting proposals now. The link is right there. You can also go to sunyla.org and navigate to the conference that way. And again, one last big thank you to everyone for attending. We really enjoy putting this on, and we hope that you are walking away with some new knowledge, some inspired to implement some new ideas. And again, thank you very much, and have a great weekend.